What are some good first date questions to get to know someone? What unresolved childhood trauma will emerge through maladaptive behaviors as we spend more time together? Girls love when I ask this. Then again, I'm a therapist. No, you don't ask that on the first date. You let that shine through naturally during the relationship and get to enjoy the surprise like the rest of us. It's like a glittery bath bomb with the prizes inside, but instead of lavender scents, moisturizing oils and some cheap crystals, you get to watch someone slowly fall apart from the crippling dread and surreal imminence of reliving a toxic codependent relationship with their mother. But only it's with you, you beautiful idiot. Do you have any outstanding warrants? On our first date, my husband and I did a thing where one of us would choose a year, then we'd both say what we were doing in that year of our lives. It was a great way to get to know each other. OkCupid had a really cool blog about statistics from their huge user base. The 3 questions they found were best predictors for compatibility. 1. Do you like scary movies? 2. Have you ever traveled alone in another country? 3. Wouldn't it be fun to chuck it all and live on a sailboat? If you agree on those 3, you're likeliest to succeed. Some other fun bits from that article. If you want to know if your date is religious, ask how they feel about spelling mistakes. Higher tolerance of spelling mistakes correlates strongly with being religious. If you want to know if your date is DTF, ask her if she likes beer. There is a strong correlation between the two. Which side were you rooting for in World War II? Dating a 90-year-old? Silver chaser? Which vegetable offends you the most? Stephen Hawking? If their name is an uncommon one, make sure you ask what's the correct pronunciation. Literally the first thing I said to my husband on our first date was hello, followed by a butchered attempt to say his name. He replied, "What did you just call me?" And up until that moment, I had never before felt the urge to jump into the nearby creek in mid-February. Lots of hypothetical situation questions. I find they help you understand how they think and prioritize their lives. For example, if you could travel anywhere in the world for a month, all expenses paid, where would you go? What would you do? Your parents are about to be executed. You are given a chance to save only one of them. Which one do you choose? What do you like doing in your free time? I never asked about people's jobs. I didn't really care how they got their money. I cared how they got their excitement and passion. Have you ever had a dream that you had to, you could, you do, you it, you are, you could do so, you do, you could, you want, you wanted them to do you so much you could do anything? This isn't so much questions, but a little game you can play that can help break the ice and let you know how well you mesh together. If you're at a place like a bar or restaurant, look around the room and try to come up with backstories for other people there. It can be a lot of fun and takes some of the pressure off, while getting you two talking to each other and getting a feel for each other's sense of humor, personality. I tried this game once with a girl. We were guessing how many dates this other couple had been on. It was our third. I was guessing low, 2 or 3 dates tops. She then just walked up and asked them. They had been together 2 years. I nearly died from embarrassment. Honestly, there is no rulebook questions you should really abide to. Just get to talking. Start off with small talk openers like, where did you go to school? Where do you work? Do you like this and that? Eventually you'll get around to talking about hobbies, experiences. You can tater off and then talk about your own experiences and just ping pong off of each other. Eventually you get a pretty good feel of that person as genuine or fake. That's how most conversations start, sounding natural with a good flow. If it stops, it stops. You can't really force it. There'll be awkward pauses and moments here and there, but you know how you read about a couple meeting and they just spend hours talking non-stop and feel like the evening has passed without noticing it? Well, that's what you want. Either that or you're both awkward and quiet. Then just go home and smash. Folks will often say that you should stay away from RAPE on a first date. For the record, that stands for religion, abortion, politics, and exes, the topics you should avoid discussing. Here's the thing, though, unless you're in the market for a short-term, casual relationship, it's in your, and your prospective partner's, best interest to put as many cards on the table as possible. After all, you don't want to spend several months dating, only to discover that you aren't compatible with a person. Like, Say, because they not so secretly believe that leprechauns control the weather or something. As such, the best conversation starters are those which led to simultaneously interesting and revealing exchanges. 1. If you had an hour during which any crime was both legal and socially acceptable, what would you do? 2. Are there any social taboos that you feel are a bit ridiculous? Are there any to which you don't personally adhere? 3. What is the most allegedly unacceptable perspective that you hold? Now, granted, the answers to questions of that nature are very often things that shouldn't be voiced in public, so you'll want to be tactful about where and when you ask them. But at the same time, if the date seems to be going well, you can use the prospect of more intimate discussion as an excuse to go somewhere more private. In either case, the best conversation starters are those which reveal important details about both parties, those which help determine whether or not the two of you will be compatible in the long term. In other words, you should absolutely discuss RAPE. On a first date if you're looking for a permanent partner, couldn't you just call it PAR instead? I mean, obviously you should stay away from rape too, but pair sounds more innocent. The irony of all these hilarious answers is that you could probably use literally any of these questions on a first date and they'd most likely laugh, which by nature makes them good questions to ask even though they're intended to be bad ones. Joke answers are me to F. Do you put your toilet paper on the holder with the loose end over or under? That'll tell you all you need to know about that person.